In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a sell or process further decision using exercise 1150 as an example. So we have here a production process, a joint production process that produces four unique products, W10, W20, W30, and W40. And independently for each one, we're trying to make the determination, do I sell it at the split off point or do I continue processing it? Again, we can individually decide that. Keep in mind the split up point is the point at which we can identify those unique products for that joint production process. One thing I want to note is that we don't care with a sell or process further decision about the joint cost because they're irrelevant to the decision. We're going to incur them whether we stop an individual product at the split off point or whether we continue processing. It's irrelevant. I might also consider it a sunk cost at that particular point. What I am going to look at is what is the incremental profit or loss from continuing to process it in order to make that seller process further decision. I'm going to use W20 as an example. So I'm going to compare two things. What's the incremental revenue versus the incremental cost? Again, forget about the joint cost. So W20, the sales revenue of continuing to process further is 336,000 versus the sales revenue I could have earned at the split off point. So I'll subtract those two. And in addition, I don't just consider the incremental revenue, there is some additional cost. And from that, I'm going to subtract the additional cost of 28,800. Make this a little bit more clear. Again, revenue from processing further 336,000 versus revenue at split off point 288,000. So I have additional revenue of 48,000, but I have to compensate or subtract out the additional process costs that they give me of 28,800. So I do have a gain or additional profit in this situation of 19,200. Because my profit increases, I would want to continue to process it further. If the answer was zero, I'd be indifferent at that point. I'm not having a gain or a loss. And obviously, if this was negative, I'd be at a loss. I don't have enough additional revenue to compensate for the cost, so I'd want to go ahead and sell it at the split off.